The locations that we used for Return of the King for Mordor were pretty much the same location, certainly the same geographical area in New Zealand as the Emyn landscapes for Two Towers. It's a volcano called Ruapehu, and there's various areas around the volcano that we shot elements of Mordor.
Mount Ruapehu is basically in the central plateau of the North Island. It was one of our main North Island locations. It's still an active volcano. In 1995, there was quite huge eruptions and areas had to be evacuated.
We couldn't shoot the peaks because the peaks themselves were sacred to the local iwi, the Maori tribes that come from that area. That's why, in the end, when you see Mount Doom, you know, it's sometimes, in terms of the frame, not far from where actually Mount Ruapehu would be standing, but instead we have our, you know, created version of Mount Doom. Mount Ruapehu had that same size, you know, it was just gigantic.
Being at the foot of an active volcano, it still has a lot of geothermal activity that's happening there.
Last night we were sitting in the lodge about 11:30 and felt the lodge shudder and some noise. Thought the generator had cracked itself and rushed outside and no problem, but we just smelt the sulphur in the air, and this morning we came out and it's all grey. So it did have a very minor, what we would call a belch.
And I know that there was that whole thing when we were there of please don't let this happen again, because, you know, if it was going to happen to any film, it was going to happen to us, but it would have been fabulous. We would have just shot it.
We must be crazy working up here on a work party and things like that on a volcano.
Mount Ruapehu, you know, all the way up there was really tough because it's a hard location. It's hard to get up to.
It's actually also a ski resort or ski field, complete with a lodge and chair lifts, and when it's not ski season, you can actually take the chairlift up before lunch and then to come back down for lunch. It was really cool. And then it was time to go back to work, so we get on the chairlift and go back up to the mountain and you know, cry and suffer.
So the Whakapapa ski field on one side of Ruapehu, that was used for a lot of the salmon Frodo crawling up, you know, working their way up Mount Doom.
Then on the other side of the mountain, there's a place called Takino, another ski area, much more rugged, isolated, basic, less refined area, really high up on the mountain towards the cone of the volcano. There's this one ravine that during the eruption just got washed out by this molten lava that just came screaming down this ravine and carved out this huge ravine. And I thought, wow, that's a great shot. That's Frodo and Sam coming up, and then Frodo starts stumbling along. I remember Sean was eating his blueberry pancakes, and I broke his heart by saying, come on, Sean, we gotta go to work, and we gotta go to work now. And we dashed off, and we got all 6 different setups we wanted.